Next question says, I've noticed that I have two kinds of RPE. One is for lower reps, where effort equals a grind, where the other kind of RPE is where effort equals exhaustion. For example, a single at 8 RPE squat feels like I have to exert myself hard against the weight, and it moves slower. But something like a set of 10 at an 8 RPE in Pendlay row doesn't feel like a grind. It's some weak muscle, usually biceps, that just kind of dies. And now it's a matter of taking 1 or 3 second pauses to get the reps out. And I also find that in those high rep back off repeats, I generally have to drop the weight multiple times because it's as if my muscles only have so many reps in them and I have the raw strength, but the muscles are just tired. Is this normal? And how should one use RPE in those higher rep situations where it's less about raw strength and more about staving off exhaustion? Really good question. Really good question, I think. You're right that there are different sensations that you're going to feel in those low reps versus high reps scenarios. It's going to be primarily down to the energy systems that are coming into play. And like you mentioned, some limitations in some smaller muscle groups and things like that. I don't think that changes how you ought to use RPE, though. I don't want to overcomplicate it too much and have certain scales for certain rep ranges. And I think that dilutes the benefit of using an RPE system. So stick to reps in the tank as being your primary indicator, I guess, of RPE. And at that point, what you're feeling and the sensations that you're feeling are normal. You're using RPE correctly. So I would keep doing that. The difference is intentional, right? When we program a set of 10 at 9 RPE or something like that, we know what we're going to get, in terms of the effect from that. We know how that's going to make you feel. Because what you've expressed here is pretty common. And similar effects on the other end of the intensity scale. So we know what we're going to get when we program these certain things. So it's just about dealing with it, And in terms of having to drop the weight multiple times, that's normal as well. That's just kind of a result of the type of fatigue that you're accumulating in these different situations. So I don't think I see anything here that is at all concerning or that even seems out of the ordinary. What you're describing is pretty typical experience, and it's also part of the overall design. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep rating your RPE as accurately as you can, and the rest really ought to take care of itself.